Most of us handle our money by reacting. A bill comes in, we pay it. When the car breaks down, we scramble. We spend our entire lives constantly bailing water just to stay afloat. But the wealthiest 1% operate completely differently. Instead of reacting to the weather, they engineer a foundation. They design their entire financial lives around 15 specific structural decisions that lock together over decades. We aren't talking about timing the stock market or finding the perfect crypto coin. We're talking about the deep, foundational choices that dictate whether your daily efforts actually build anything lasting. Without these structures, a high salary is just temporary cash. With them, every dollar you earn becomes a permanent brick in a legacy that lasts generations. Let's look at how this is built. The very first structural decision is where you live. Your zip code directly dictates how much of your own money you keep. Look at this visual showing a $200,000 income. If you live in a high-tax state like California, a staggering $70,000 is instantly sliced off the top and sent to the government. Earning that exact same income in a state like Texas or Florida keeps a massive chunk of that capital in your pocket. Over a 40-year career, those retained dollars multiply upon themselves, turning a simple location choice into millions in extra wealth. The wealthy also choose how they are legally recognized. Standard employees pay the absolute highest tax rates on everything they earn. Wealth builders shift away from that structure early, working with professionals to establish business entities and trusts that legally shield their money from unnecessary taxes. They also hold a strict two-part rule about borrowing. First, they carry absolutely zero high-interest consumer debt, no exceptions. Second, they aggressively use loans to buy productive assets, like using a mortgage to acquire a building that pays them rent every month. Making a lot of money means nothing if your environment constantly drains it away. You must actively build walls around your capital to keep it, and then use strategic leverage to multiply it. Once your money is protected, it has to grow. Most people simply accept whatever standard retirement plan their employer offers, which often means their investments are too cautious when they are young. Missing out on aggressive growth in your 20s and 30s leaves massive amounts of future wealth on the table. True wealth is rarely built purely on a paycheck anyway. If you are only trading your hours for a salary, your growth is capped by the clock. Builders seek ownership. They accept a lower salary if it means getting a percentage of profits or stock options in a growing business. This diagram represents what a wealthy person's cash flow looks like by age 40. Instead of relying on a job, they have built an essential engine that powers itself. They decide early on whether they want their income to come from real estate rent, business profits, or stock dividends, and they spend their early career acquiring those exact assets. But an engine only works if it doesn't leak. The wealthiest people lock in a strict personal spending limit early on. As you can see here, even when their income shoots up to $300,000 a year, their lifestyle costs stay pinned exactly where they were when they made $30,000. By refusing to buy a more expensive car or a bigger house every time they get a raise, they create a massive gap between what they earn and what they spend. Every extra dollar from that gap is poured directly back into buying more income-producing assets. Financial structures are only part of the equation. You also have to scale your own time. The wealthy calculate exactly what an hour of their time is worth, and they pay other people to do any task that costs less than that amount. They spend money to buy back their own schedule. They are equally protective of who they spend that time with. You absorb the habits and standards of the people around you. Intentional builders actively seek out mentors and peers who are already where they want to be, and they distance themselves from people who drag them down. They treat their own brain as an asset that needs constant upgrading. They don't stop learning after graduation. Instead, they budget a strict percentage of their income every single year for specialized training, books, and coaching to keep their skills sharp. As they learn and grow, their approach to risk shifts on purpose. This visual shows how risk tolerance should change over a lifetime. Early on, you can afford high volatility because you have time to recover from mistakes. But as you get older and your financial obligations increase, you actively slide that risk down to a calm, secure baseline. Ultimately, upgrading your knowledge, guarding your schedule, and surrounding yourself with the right people acts as a massive multiplier for every dollar you invest.
When you put all this together, how you measure success completely flips. Look at this comparison. On the left, a $1 million mansion that looks impressive but generates absolutely zero cash. On the right, a smaller $200,000 property that pumps a steady stream of liquid cash into your bank account every month.
Cash flow, not a vanity net worth, is what actually pays for your freedom. To build that cash flow, you have to focus heavily on one thing until it succeeds. Almost all major wealth is created by putting all your effort into a single business or asset class. Once that asset is huge and secure, you spread your money out into different areas to protect it. Protecting it also means deciding exactly how that money will transfer to your family when you are gone. If you wait until a crisis to set up proper trusts and map out your family values, your wealth will likely disappear in the transition. You have to structure your legacy while things are calm. None of this works if you blame the economy for your problems. The final decision is accepting total ownership of your life. When a market crashes and the wall falls down, the wealthy pick up the scattered bricks and build a staircase to the next opportunity. These 15 decisions aren't things you do once. They are habits you practice for 40 years. If you want to stop drifting and start building, subscribe to the Money Formula right now. Leave a comment below telling us which of these 15 decisions you are putting into practice today. Start building your foundation and leave nothing to chance.